Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Smooth Sounds.
Secret House.
Secret House Against the World.
Welcome back. We are back. I am your host, Jack So. Name's at the bottom.
You remember how the radio station used to be paid around 7 o'clock? That shit come on.
Oh.
Like, hey, it's time to get busy.
It's getting kind of inappropriate.
Yo, welcome back. We are Secret House Against the World. Secret House. Out here, Tokyo based. Hip-hop, art, and culture, music reviews, and conversations. Yeah, please hit the like, subscribe. I always forget to say that type of stuff. I don't really like asking for it. It's like, you should know, but more than once I've been reminded by a YouTube video I was watching, like, subscribe. Yeah. So we appreciate all the likes and subscriptions, and hit the bell for notifications, and also comments. I love to see the comments. We've got a lot of people who are consistent in the comments section. We love y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, combat us, man. We don't think that our opinions are correct. We do think that they're probably better, but you know what I mean? Come at us. Like, I also like to hear what your favorite songs are on the album, where we fucked up, especially, a lot of, we busy people, so we don't actually have all the facts about the artist.
Yes.
For example, I have no idea exactly where Roper Williams is from. You know what I mean?
Great
like,
name, though.
Things
Roper
like
Williams.
that. Yeah, we need fact checks and support us in that way if you can. Today, as you can see on the title, we are reviewing the Fatboi Sharif and Roper Williams collaborative album that just dropped. I guess it's more like an EP, you could say, because it's only 6 songs, only 14 minutes. You know what I mean? It's an EP, but it is called Planet Unfaithful. This is the second full project that they've done. Maybe 2 years ago, they had Gandhi Loves Children. Yep. And this joint is 6 songs long, 14 minutes. Fatboi Sharif is the MC. Roper Williams is the producer. The way we like to start when we review an album from an artist that we've never reviewed before, we like to discuss how we know that artist. And so who wants to get it off first?
I'll go ahead and get it off, man.
Get it.
I was introduced to this gentleman from the More Mother album. I heard his verse on that. I was like, okay, this guy is very interesting, which led from that review to me actually getting a follow from Fatboi Sharif. And of course I follow back because I'm team follow back all the damn time. And then I was introduced to multiple other projects from his Instagram. So look, Instagram marketing works if you do it right, guys. Yeah. Because it's Instagram marketing, I started listening to all the man's albums. So shout out to More Mother and shout out to Fatboi Sharif.
Yeah, same here. I heard about him on the first time through Jazz Codes, went back and listened to Gandhi Loves Children, which is a really great record. And yeah, a lot of people talking about him now. He's getting his juice.
Yeah, he just had a freestyle on Off Top Premium.
You put me on that,
which is hard. I'm also kind of a fairly new listener to Fatboi Sharif. I think the homies over at Dad Bod Rap Pod, shout out San Jose, I think those fools put me on when they were discussing the album they were discussing the album, and I was like, Fatboi Sharif, he's getting a lot of praise from these guys. I respect their opinion. Let me go check it out. And so I peeped the Gandhi Loves Children album, and I was like, wow, this is just uncanny and dope. And you guys know that I'm a huge fan of unique, idiosyncratic stylers. In fact, Fatboi Sharif has like a almost singular style. He's very interesting, especially when you couple that with his content. So after that, I became like a big fan, and I had been waiting before he reached out in the DMs and said peace, and he saw a video or whatnot. I had been wanting to review an album, but low key I didn't want to subject Spade to it because his music is wildly different from album to album. Yeah. And the one that dropped was Cyber City. That one. Even before that, it was the Cyber City Society, and I was like, oh, this is dope. But I'm not prepared to hear Spade be like, what the fuck, but that's just me projecting, because a lot of times I think Spade is not going to like some shit, and he's like, yo, this is fire. And so finally we've got the opportunity to discuss an album. We got a little time on a Wednesday afternoon, and let's get into the album, man. What were you guys' thoughts on Planet Unfaithful?
Oh, let me tell you something, man. I'm not a fan of this production style, but if you're gonna do this production style, do it like this. Pick some interesting samples that stand out, that actually draw your ear in. Like Roper Williams, like I said, I'm not a fan of the stripped down loop, but your loops you found were great, I must say, and it was mixed impeccably. It all stood out and it grabbed me in.
It's also really like textured.
It is.
Like, even though it's quite simple in its arrangement, Roper Williams does a really, really good job of adding like some little details and layers that you don't
The
necessarily
synth
see.
chords on this are
synths
fucking
really
fire.
cool.
Yeah.
If you look at like on Christ Corpse on the first track, there's these like really creepy, slightly off-key, like dissonant vocals going on in the background. Kind of almost ODB like. There's a bit of that ODB kind of quality to it. On Cinnamon, there's like a drone. I don't know if it's like a violin being played through an effects pedal or something, but there's this kind of drone sound that comes in and out.
We low-key didn't even talk about Roper Williams, like he ain't half of the, you know what I mean? My bad, Doc. No, like, yeah, get off. But like his beats are dope. Were you guys familiar with him before?
Identity as well, like the crazy, like somebody's going absolutely nuts on the cymbals, like on the loop, like it's from a jazz record, I assume.
And the keys on it are like menacing and kind of like piano
very
strikes
pronounced,
and shit.
yeah. Mm-hmm. The stabs and everything were very, very good.
It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like Boards of Canada a little bit.
I see that.
And because it gets a little wavy and etheric at times, and it really creates this really interesting atmosphere that, coupled with Fatboi, kind of creates. To me, it sounds like kind of like Doraemon in Hell. It sounds kind of like the like it sounds kind of like the caterpillar from the Wizard of I'm not Wizard of Oz, but
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, kind of like going off, and it's an unsettling world that's kind of whimsical, and the combination with the production is just like full and fluid. Are you guys know the movie The Saddest Music in the World?
No.
It's I think his name is pronounced Guy Madden, but it might be Guy. I'm not sure. You know how they do that. But he made this movie back in the early 2000s called The Saddest Music in the World, where all the world countries come together and they make sad music to see who can make the saddest music, and if you win you get a lifetime supply of beer. But it's this really kind of hazy, strange wizard, like 1940s 1920s type of weird world, and this kind of reminds me of something otherworldly, like it's almost like the black block on the other side of the tracks of like Transylvania. You know what I mean? Like some really weird, some really weird shit. You know what I mean? Like this shit, like their combination, like Fatboi Sharif is dope, and like check out that freestyle on the Top Shelf Premium joint. Like he's just dope at rapping, but together, like it's vivid and visceral and weird. I love it.
His voice is unconventional. We both are suckers for unconventional voices, right? That's what drove me into Z Loopers, right?
Yeah, those one, Bus Driver, all those fools.
He reminds me so much of Bizarre from D12. When I heard his rap style, even the content, it puts me in mind of a King Gordy or Bizarre, which I'm big fans of. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this guy is like the heir apparent to King Gordy.
Okay, I'm not familiar with King Gordy, but I've heard a few tracks of Bizarre, and yeah, he fat too.
King Gordy's actually fat too.
Yeah, okay. So, but you know, I mean, I guess I can't really say that Fatboi Sharif sound like the way he looked, but you know, on the cover,
there's even like
he's ill.
I was thinking of like Dungeon Family and stuff as well. Like, there's this very kind of theatrical kind of element to it, wherein
which theatrical,
he's you know, playing these kind of characters. Even like the album covers, he's always got these crazy costumes and outfits on. You know, he just really projects this like really dope energy.
That's a good pull. Cujo Goody had that the Transylvania album that he did with like Gennaro Jarrell or some shit way back in the day, and it's kind of like on this menacing, you know, hood vibe. Yeah. But I mean, all the songs do not sound like menacing though. You know what I mean? Like
what?
They do though. They kind of have an undertone of like the Poe Pimpin' one doesn't sound menacing.
Okay, yeah, right? That's probably the most conventional kind of, because Bruiser Wolf.
Make room for Bruiser Wolf.
Bruiser Wolf sounds, you know, like
he's on
there
Sugar Free, baby.
You know
that guy. Like, look, all the features on this album was actually dope as hell.
We got a Lucid
went off. This man like gold standard on that damn beat that was unconventional, going all over the place. A Lucid came in and just anchored the whole damn track. I think that's maybe my favorite track on the album.
The Scrabble board pieces.
Scrabble board pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe my favorite track.
It's hard to call for me, man. I like quite a few of them, but to go back to Bruiser Wolf, I keep on expecting to get tired of what he's doing, but he's always dope the whole time. You know, like his flow is so ill. He's like, the syndicate is intricate, simping 4-2 with a lemon twist. Life's a bitch, but I support her like a feminist. I mean, he's so fucking hard. Like, and it's a good contrast to what Fatboi Sharif does.
There's some like levity in it, right? Because he's got that like, you know, that classic like pimp style delivery. Obviously, that's something that shows up a lot lyrically in this track as well. But he's kind of like fun in in a grotesque way.
Yeah, man.
Which bounces nicely off. He's talking about leaving people with Colombian neckties. Like that's just gross, but like it's also like it's dope.
Wait, is a Colombian necktie something other than a submission in MMA?
Oh no,
because a Colombian necktie is like you get the two hands on the neck and you but anyways.
No, it's like when you like cut someone's throat and pull their tongue out so it looks like they've got a tie on.
Okay. I see Scarface.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't frolic in those streets like that. The Colombian streets. I've met like 5 Colombians in my life. I'm from Cali, but I put some samples on this mug.
Yeah, run it.
Hold on.
Reminiscent of the pine saw leather. Where I'm from, collapse, chaos be the outcome. Discuss Marvin late night, Malcolm with the shotgun.
See, that beat is not menacing though, you know what I mean? But it's kind of just like, but listen how his flow gets. Listen how his flow brings you in.
My spaceship in the midnight swimming pool, edible arrangement. Pulse raised in the ceiling, propane, playing it low, man. Around the block, see from Soul Train, rose gold chain, hang 'em high seasons, whole chain. Swimming pool, edible arrangement.
I swear, like the way that he flows, it's like sing-songy and very head noddy to me. Like I find myself a lot of times when I'm listening, it's just like I'm not anticipating the beat at all. I'm not anticipating a beat change, but his flow just gets me head noddy.
Can I say something about the beat though?
Yeah,
because the production on that right there is just so damn full. To have like few instruments and no drums. Like, it's not thin at all. It's full. It's encompassing. It actually draws you into this world. Because you like, everything is panned right. Everything is full. It's spaced out. So you're like, yo, I'm actually in this world they're painting. So, like, props to whoever mixed this. I mean, you did a damn good job. Damn good job. This is how it should be done.
Bro, it is so live. It's like, you can hear in the background, there's little things that Roper Williams does to add to it. Like, there's like a random scream in the background of this shit. You know what I mean? But it's also just like, the flow is just like, it's very dreamlike to me and trance-like. It does feel like some Wicked Wonderland type of shit.
It also, in contrast to Preaching in Havana, where he like has a tendency to exaggerate like his intonation a little bit more. He does this a lot on the other track, whereas this one he's like a little more straightforward, more rhythmic. There's almost a chanting kind of thing going on with his flow. Brings the shotgun. It brings in this kind of
hear that
screams. I was laughing because you were like, oh, well, the beat's not menacing, and then there was just a scream in the background.
But I mean, like, this isn't. I mean, but like, I guess what I mean by that is that if you were to write on paper kind of like some of the elements of this, you might think like, oh, this is like a horrorcore album,
right?
But it doesn't have the kind of like gimmicky horrorcore aspect of it that you would get. Like, now I'm gonna slit your throat.
There's a bit of
lick your bones,
psychosexuality to it, but like,
it's not like I don't know how to say it. It's not like a horror. It's not like a gore movie.
It's not tropey.
It's like a word. It's not. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Probably.
I think it's upper class, highbrow horrorcore.
Okay, so what horror movie are we likening this to? It's not meta.
No,
so it's not.
I wouldn't say a movie, but like not Roper Williams. Although Roper Williams' production on here in particular does, but I'll get back to that point. But Fatboi Sharif reminds me of Silent Hill. Like the games.
Oh, word. That's a good
I haven't seen the films.
I get that atmosphere.
A lot of the game, it's very fleshy and like very full in its atmosphere. Usually layered, very strong kind of atmospheric elements. There's like a fog that you're like navigating in most of the games.
Got that Scooby-Doo fog.
It does have Scooby-Doo fog. That's a good pool too.
There's a bit of that Scooby-Doo in there as well. There's that cartoonishness, that almost Cool Keith-like, where it's like. It's kind of horror, but at the same time, like the intention isn't just to scare you.
Yeah,
sure. That's what's interesting to me about it is that a lot of times, an album like this, if it released during summer, it's like, this is not my vibe. I'm not really feeling it. This album, you would think like, oh, this is something I could sit at night and chill to, and it adds to it. But man, I'm sitting here daylight, 9 o'clock in the morning, like, going off. Like this album. on top of just, you know, the idiosyncratic approach to his rhyming, a lot of the things he says are funny as fuck and just ill. Like he says a lot of ill stuff, and to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of time to sit. You know, I like to sit with music and pick out lyrics and see what it is. I'm not exactly sure what the kind of overarching theme about this is, but there are kind of elements that suggest, you know, the title is Planet Unfaithful, and there are a lot of elements, especially, you know, the pimping element. There are like edible arrangements, marriage and things. I haven't got the full kind of if there is something like a full concept to get out of it. You didn't get anything out of it?
I thought it was just a hodgepodge of good stuff put together. Like I felt like I just felt like it was just 6 dope tracks the dude got off on and picked masterful people. There's only 2 features on this album, I think. Yeah. But those 2 features actually go great, and the Lucid one's a good pool. So I don't know if it was just actually intent in it, but I feel like the album is just great as it is.
Sharif likes to put images out and then just let them sit, like, rather than just I was hoping you'd have some examples. Actually, I didn't pull them out. But sometimes he'll like describe a scene or like something he's like looking at, and he just lets it sit. He doesn't really like come back to it. It's just something that really sets the tone in the atmosphere. And that is something that I think is really, really prevalent throughout the album is this atmosphere. One thing that I was going to mention about Roper Williams' production on here, and this is something I despise about this album, is that so often there'll be a beat on here where I'm like, oh, I've made stuff like this before, but I don't think anybody would be into this. So I never like put it out there or do anything like that. Roper Williams has found the perfect MC for these kinds of beats.
That's true.
Like Roper Williams is definitely giving Fatboi Sharif shit that he wouldn't just hand out or put on a beat tape. This is stuff that, you know, it feels so tailor-made. It's like perfect in that respect. I don't actually despise it. I think it's excellent. I'm a huge fan.
By the way, all the beats in the background are off of Roper Williams' album Recap, which came out this year. I guess that is...
Wait, that's Roper Williams?
That's Roper Williams.
So you can tell he's doing that, like you just said, because these ain't tracks
much more traditional,
than when he was giving
I first became like acutely aware of Roper Williams through his collaborations with Akai Solo and YL. After you put me onto YL, I was going back and listening to some of his stuff because Soda Club Deluxe was an album I really, really loved last year. And he has like a record like Friend of a Friend, which was like a cassette release he did with Roper Williams.
I'm just notoriously bad at not giving respect to producers a lot. Like sometimes when I'm really into the lyrics, I'm like, yeah, this artist is the MC.
It's not just you.
I do that a lot.
It's not just everybody does that. That's cool.
I need to get a little bit better at that.
I also think
his work.
I don't know if Roper Williams is his real name or not, but I know that Roper and Williams are like the 2 main side characters in Enter the Dragon.
Oh, word
like
life.
John Saxon and Jim Kelly's characters.
Word
John
life,
Saxon is Roper and Jim Kelly is
Williams. Oh, that's a good pull.
So
that's right. Tune in
maybe
to Secret House for all the
Could just be his name. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. It was. Man, you come straight out of a comic book.
Yeah,
I mean, the name. I mean, Jet, you got a really dope name too, Jet.
Yeah,
like,
that's a real name.
This is not his superhero name and shit. Like, but yeah, Roper.
I gotta start with Marcus. This man got Jet.
I mean, I'm Mark too. Shit, you know what I mean? Hey, but my righteous name, Master Quality, got a lot. Read the blueprint. Anyways, I put more samples on here. I don't remember exactly which ones they were, but let me just toss them out and see what we feel. Listen to those.
Encyclopedia, hidden Bible, sheltered first door, praying for survival. Charity collapse, lost life in the cellophane. Caught throat cancer from abuse of cigarettes. Edible arrangement, hydro grits. Ran spilling, spoke of ventriloquist last.
Oh.
Don't.
That's hard.
Oh yeah, that. That shit is hard as fuck.
It draws you in, right? It's stripped down, but like the sample choices, great. And this is the best track on the album to me.
I think, you know, I love 3 of them. My favorites are probably Scrabble Puzzle Pieces, Poe Pimpin' Do or Die. Shout out to us for that Do or Die pull the other week. Hey, Do or Die, and probably Identity. I really do like Identity. Really like they're just for like a 6-track album. There's a really interesting cohesion to it, and it just sounds fucking phenomenal. It's very strange though.
Do you think this would have been like less phenomenal if it had more than 6 tracks?
I don't know. I mean, like Gandhi Loves Children is fucking great, and now there's got to be like 15, 16 tracks.
Yeah, but it's also like 25 minutes long. Like it is also very, very short.
Or just a couple
I think he's finding that sweet spot of like hitting in and not staying too long.
Well, his last 3 releases, the Havana joint and the Cyber City Society joint, they're both also EPs.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what he's cooking.
I feel like maybe I think it is perfectly fine at its current length because it's kind of it's a very oppressive atmosphere. It's very paranoid in places. There's that whole like Behold a Pale Horse thing going on like across all of those records. Almost conspiracy, paranoia kind of elements going on, and it would just be a bit overbearing if the album was longer.
That's what I think.
I feel like I would probably tune out after a while if this was like this for 40 minutes. Right?
The Preaching in Havana album, man, like I couldn't listen to that joint at night. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I don't need them spirits getting to me. So
what was it? We were gonna do it, and we were all like, yeah, it's dope. But I was like, bro, I'm walking home. It was a little bit dark at the time.
Yeah, I don't need that in my spirit right now.
Yeah, that sounded like some hoodoo.
I mean, that's how I've been managing this album. Like I've been sick all week. I've been a little under the weather, and I'm just like lying in bed, just like dead pigs' heads, blood everywhere.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, man, I love this album. Who would you recommend this to?
Off top, I recommend this to anybody who's fans of horrorcore, King Gordy, Bizarre, 3-6 Mafia. Anybody who likes any of that, you would like this. Production, like I said, not my style of production, but the way Roper put it together. Actually hearing some of your other tracks, I see why I like this, because you do take a conventional approach to unconventional music. So I like that. Props on that. But yeah, if you like 3-6 Mafia, King Gordy, Bizarre, any of that horrorcore, even your Detroit rappers like Dax, check this out.
I mean, I would recommend this. If people dig this album, I would definitely just recommend going back to both of the catalogs of these. Like YL is really dope with Roper. I was thinking like... I don't know if it would hit for people that like Spirit World Field Guide, because it's such a different vibe, but it's also kind of like another weird surreal world.
Into like a real, surreal world. I think that's a good pull.
Spirit World Field Guide. Yeah, if you like that last Aesop or the that
like
Aesop rock, two at least. If you like Spirit World Field Guide, I'll check this out. Maybe a JUS from Bruiser Brigade, just because they both got that kind of heavy, husky, dope voice with weird, interesting rhymes. So
I'm gonna recommend this to people who miss grunge.
Okay,
like if you're someone who like was really into your grunge music at the time, especially like the darker and heavier stuff. You're in Uteros, like there's that similar kind of oppressive atmosphere going on musically. And it's also like a good antidote towards the current state of things as they are sonically, and it's I think grunge fans would get a lot out of this if they can open their minds to something a little different.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Shoegazy a little bit too.
A little shoegazy as well, yeah.
Fatboi Sharif, what are you saying on that song with Billy Woods? My Lord God needs Ghana. What are you saying, bro? Cause that shit's dope. I don't know what it is, but every time I hear that on the sample, that whatever he's saying, I'm like, this shit's hard.
It's super hard. I wish I pulled more lyrics, but
I was depending on you, man. So you let me down.
We only had 2 days to review this, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like to make notes, but did I write something? Well, where I'm from, collapse, chaos be the outcome. Discuss Marvin late night, Malcolm with the shotgun. What else we got here? I don't know. Bled the Fifth, fucking Lead Phoenix, Lion vs. Vampire penmanship. He's ill. He's fucking very ill. But yeah, Secret House. Like, subscribe, do all the things you would do to a good friend.
And reach out to us on the Instagrams, man.
Easy.
Like, we approachable.
Yeah, hit us up.
I'm not really on there like that, but I check the comments most of the time. But yo, to be honest with you, whatever is going on between the app and the creator app, sometimes I don't get the notifications.
Oh, that's
sometimes
actually,
I don't get the notifications.
People are wondering why the random show is not like on my page, because they actually took away my contributor tag, and nobody can tag me right now. I don't know why. So yeah, you're right.
Trash. Anyways,
comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Fuck the
Secret House.
Secret House.